Great awakening, light lords, and grand rising to those who have not yet awoken. To know that we must honor both sides of the coin, the yin and the yang, the darkness, the light, the positive and negative charges of all that is, in order to work through this game correctly and attain the Christ mind. So often we forget that we must also get dark codes, not just light codes. The dark codes, the things that you attain, the information that you get once you quiet your mind and allow your mind to go to that place in between realms, the nothingness that is everything, where all information dwells, the subconscious mind. And based on your mentality when going to that place, you receive specific divine information. Once you have downloaded this light energy of this illusion, you go into a meditative state, into the darkness within, and you gain more insight to use it within the light illusion. The darkness and the light are in perfect unison when it comes to this illusion, so that we need both, is what I mean to say. You cannot honor one side of the coin of all that is without honoring the other side. Now, some would say that darkness is evil, but that is not true. Darkness and light are the starting point, the perfect two-sided coin starting point of everything that exists, whether positive or negative. Now, you can say that one is evil when one is doing his best to be righteous, but is being his soul self, putting all of himself into being righteous and good, that he goes so far. He goes too far. When one believes that to destroy, you must make peace. People that go maniacal. People that get cynical. See, this is the same thing that Lucifer did. Lucifer, who they call Lucifer anyway, according to the story, wanted to be better than God. And him wanting to be better than God, trying to be more good than goodness, threw him off of balance. So God, according to the story, lowered Lucifer's state of existence into the darker realms, dimmed his light. Well, not dimmed his light, but threw his light into a darker state, so that he could actually see his light, his own light again, instead of being in the presence of God. Because him being in the presence of God with his personality that God created for him will always make him want to be better than God. And this is where we get Ha-Satan from, the being that we call Satan, or the obstacles. But what we must see is that the obstacles are for our betterment. The adversary is our helper. In the Christ mind, there is no death. There is no more sin. As the sacred text says, the chosen of God's children sin no more. They cannot sin. So what we must do is embrace the negative aspects every single moment and learn from them. Know that they are only obstacles to overcome. Go through every single moment in your waking life. And if you feel any type of distraught or depression or sadness or anger, analyze it. Learn from that anger. Learn from that sadness. Learn from that depression. How to not be in that state. Because that's what it's for. It's an indicator to show you that there is a higher state to be in. And the only reason you're in that state is because you have not analyzed your current state enough. Just like those who wish to escape this realm. You cannot escape this realm without actually embracing this realm. So you must first embrace the negative in order to elevate from it. Understand it. Love is understanding. Light and darkness worked in perfect unison to create the illusion of reality, the illusion of ego, of the I of oneness that creates infinity of all that is. So when we eat our fruit, and we eat our herbs, and we eat our vegetables, and we get that sunlight, and we ground with the earth in the daytime, set apart some time to isolate yourself. Close your eyes and go to the darkness within. Quiet the mind from all of the noise of the illusion of the light spectrums and fall into the void. Embrace those five senses when going into the self, the inner self of darkness and voidness, and watch as they fall away. And in between transitioning your consciousness, transferring your consciousness into another body based on the information that you seek within, or you wish to allow your higher self to give you within this darkness or void. Take hold of the information. Take hold of the knowledge. Take hold of the darkness, the subconscious mind. We talk about the conscious and the subconscious mind, but what we must realize is that the conscious mind walks about in darkness, as Isaiah says in the sacred text. We walk about in darkness. It's talking about the physicality of us, meaning that our conscious minds, our conscious selves, are literally walking around in nothingness and not even knowing it, because we are the light, and we're reflecting the light off of each other infinitely in many different ways and perspectives, and that light is bouncing off of all of us and coming back to our single ego, our personality, and then being broken down and reintegrated into the subconscious mind to create more conscious light to do the same thing over and over and over again. So we are the light within the darkness, but we shall transition as if we are mortal, which meaning that our minds every moment see from the micro to the macro, everything is happening in the same way, but on a different scale. Everything is happening the same way, but on a different scale. This is the law of polarity and the law of correspondence at work, alongside the law of rhythm. Really all of the 7 natural laws, universal principles of Hermes Trismegistus, or who you like to call Thoth. It was really just the mind. another being who tapped into the Christ consciousness, the Christ mind, and saw that connecting with nature will help you to manipulate your whole reality. And knowing thyself, knowing your own astrological energy, and piercing through the veil of the void, and seeing all things as they are, infinite and pure and divine. We have forgotten the darkness. We want to go to the light so bad that we wish to push away our lessons, put off our lessons. We wish to put off all of our lessons, all of the sadness, the depression, the anger, without understanding why, without understanding ourselves and why we perceive this reality the way we do. Our minds constantly transform from one form to another because we are energy. We are thought. We are the mind, manipulating itself to create ourselves over and over and over again. We are infinite. But once we become conscious of our infinity, by balancing the light codes and the dark codes that we get, the different ways that we take in information, balancing it all, the yin and yang, the positive, the negative, then we will see all that is and transition fully conscious at all times, becoming physically immortal. All is mental before it is physical. So let us grasp, let us integrate, syncretize this information into our mentalities daily and pass it through gene narrations, through our genes, our genetic code, and upgrade our hardware and software, which is our biological, organic intelligence, our bodies, to the way that we think, which is immortal. I am JAH MASHIAC. I am here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. I say that we will consciously begin to transform our minds from one form to another and keep what is needed for us to progress mentally until it comes to a point where we are immortal physically and one with all that is, knowing nothingness, but also knowing everything and experiencing the infinity of the different realities, infinite dimensions, planes, and realms of existence. Having fun throughout all of the positive and negative emotions and rushes and waves, the waveforms of energies. Bringing the new heaven, which is the new mentality, the immortal mentality, first within one's mind, which is mental. So that it also brings the new earth, the new physicality, the immortal bodies, the being, the illusion, which is also mental, but on another level, more concrete, a higher frequency, so that we may experience it fully without perversion. I love myself. Share and subscribe. Peace.